Hi, friends. I'm back. I'm going to talk about some ChildPlus things now. And one is adding behavior and incident reports into ChildPlus. And the other one will be about some areas of documentation and just what kind of needs to go where. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so that we can look at Joey Spider-Man. And one of the things, get some control things out of the way here. We're going to go into the Education tab, which we've just started using more. And what we want is all those education things to go into here. Don't put them in Family Services. Make sure that you're putting them under your Education tab if you are in the classroom. And Joey today had a rough day, so we have a behavior report we want to fill out on him. So you just do your add event and you put in behavior report. And when it comes up, go ahead and add your event date, whatever date it happened, your status, completed, incompleted, maybe you haven't gotten a hold of mom and dad yet and you want to talk to them. It's completed versus incompleted. It's kind of up to you whether everything's done with the incident and we're just ready to move on or not. I'll go ahead and just put myself in for now as the agency worker. Were the parents notified? Yes. Talk to mom by phone. Who did that? We're going to say Jen called. And it all happened today, and she called about 11 o'clock this morning. Now, your event notes up here, if there's something that you want to share just with internal staff, you want them to know family is moving and that Joey's not sleeping well. That's where you want to put that type of information. It shares it with the staff that need to know this, but it's not going to share it to the parents. The date it happened. As we're coming down here, this is going to start looking familiar. We tried to keep it as close as possible to the regular behavior report. So you have your date and time that whatever it was happened. So this happened about 10:30 this morning. We're going to say Jen was an observer. And whose classroom were we in? Pull this down and here's all of our lead teachers. We're going to say we were in Carrie's room today. And I'm writing up the report. Okay, this should look familiar. Same options as before. What was the behavior? We had a hitting incident. Joey wanted a toy from his friend. So he was trying to get something there. When did this happen? It was during small group today. Involved a peer. Like I said, these options should be looking really familiar. It's as close as we could get to actually making it look like the paper form you're used to. And what did we do? We had a verbal reminder and we removed him from the area. We sent him to play somewhere else. What preventative measures did you use? Reteach maybe the classroom rules with visual aid. Maybe you did a social story. If you're going to do that, you need to put the name of your social story in here. If it's something else that you've included, maybe he has some specialized things you like to do with him to help it remind him of the rules. You can click other and put in what it is. Now your notes down here would be something for the parents. This is going to show up on the report. We understand moving can be difficult. That lets them know that, you know, we understand that this is chaotic for him. And yeah, maybe he's tired and just not going to have the best behavior that day. So, all right, this is what we did. Go ahead and save. If you have another one you need to add, maybe you had a really rough day, you can add another one. So it brings you back here. Okay, so it's listed, but how do we get a report for the parents? Go right up here to your enter report number. And this is for a behavior report, right? So you put in BR, behavior report. I like to keep it simple. Child behavior report, this is the one you're going to use for the parents. The other one is just a monitoring list that helps the leadership team keep track of what incidents happened that week. So you click on that one, it brings you over here. If you run any reports out of ChildPlus, this will start to look familiar. Make sure you have the right year and the right program, Head Start or Early Head Start. There's your current years. Make sure you are on, most of this you won't need to bother with. Make sure you've got your right site and your right classroom. So I believe Carrie's this classroom. So the next thing we want to do is go over to individuals. This is going to limit it to who is actually in our class. So you do not have to run reports on everybody. Unclick the all. And we can go ahead and use one of these. It's not going to pull up an instant or a behavior report filled out. But we can go ahead and preview what one looks like. So this would be, it'd say Joey Spider-Man. It's going to give you the actual boxes checked. And any of your notes are going to show up down here at the bottom. So if there's a note you want to give to the parents about, maybe it's something you're working on with them both in the home and at school, that we're trying to get everybody on the same page of how to correct some behavior, that might be a good place to put that as well. An idea that maybe something worked today that hasn't in the past. So then you could just go ahead and hit print, and it'll print that out, and you can get that to the family. So that is the short and simple on a behavior report. So what we're going to do now is go back. Joey also had an incident report. So under education, you can go in and you can put in an incident report. These are not the only, education isn't the only tab that has these, and I will show you that in just a minute. Incident report, very similar. You got the date that it happened, the status, yep, we took care of everything. Joey fell down. Results, he scraped his knee. Whoever is working, Val was the one doing this today. Parents notified, note sent home to dad. Who did that? Val was doing that as well. And it was sent home today. The date of the incident, 3:30 is when kiddo goes home. So there we go. Event notes. Joey fell down because there was a rug that needs repair. That's where you're going to want to put in this notes box. Rug in classroom needs replaced. Because this is our internal communication box. So we'll be able to pull that and know, oh, we need to get that taken care of. Now, this is going to start looking similar to what you would see in your paper format for your incident report. Did it occur on agency premises? The date of the injury, person, the date it was reported, location, who's involved, witnesses, was parent in central office notified immediately or not? Your first aid, same options as you would have. The type of injury looks the same. The injured area does look different. It's kind of hard to put a picture in here for you to be able to mark on it. So basically we did a list. You start at the top at their head and you go all the way down to the individual toes. You've got the digits, if it's a left or right hand, which finger it was. Same thing for a toe. Your knee is split between two lines. When you print it out, it won't look that way. If there's something else, you have a description box that you can work with. Down here at the bottom, accident description. Go ahead and write in here, this is what your parents are going to see on their report. Joey fell and scraped his knee. Okay, so you have this done. You get this typed up. And say Dad decides to stop in today. Cool. Dad, just a second. This is what happened with Joey today. If you are on your Surface, you hit that capture signature spot, and this is going to pop up, and they can just use their finger to sign on it because it's a touchpad. Now, in this case, the laptop I've got is not, but I can use the mouse and do it. Well, it's a really bad signature, but there we go. And that is going to sign that for us. Save it, and you are done. You don't need to print it off. They've been notified. We've got the signature. Now, that throws us back to Joey's page. Okay, this is an incident report. I like to make things easy. Type in IR. There's your incident report. Brings you back to this page. Now, we're actually in a different classroom. It's still probably not going to pull up Joey because he's about 14 at this point, but this will pick up the kids that are in your classroom. Now, you're not going to want reports for all of them. Go ahead. I think we used Little Grace one earlier. And you can just hit print if you want. In this case, we'll just preview it. And this gave us today's date and time. That will automatically happen from the computer. The child's name. And then you will have answers to these questions. You will have the boxes checked that you put in, whether it's, it would be like his left knee. That would be check marked because that may be what we put in the report. Accident description, remember I said that's going to show up right here telling us Joey fell down. That bottom box, the parents get to read. So remember that when you're filling it out. Parent signature, if you did the capture signature, it's going to be there. If not, if this is something we need to send home, they can just sign by that and send it back. So you could print that out, have them sign it and return it. So that is the real simple of your incident and behavior reports. Play with it. We want you to start right when you get back from Thanksgiving break, and we'll give you until Christmas break. We'd like you to start putting them in. If you've got issues, you need help, let us know. After we get back from winter break, at the first of the year, we're going to switch over to all this. We don't want the paper reports that we were seeing before. We want these done electronically. It'll speed up the process so much more and save time from having to go copy things out, send it off to Central, and 2 weeks later somebody reads it. So let's go back to Joey. So now we put those behavior and incident reports into the education tab. And teaching staff, that's kind of where we want you to stay. You come over here to the health tab. have those same options. The behavior report. You have the incident report. There's your behavior report. Still in help. There's your incident report. Because a lot of your incident reports may fall under health. So there's 2 places you can go in and add these. Now, we're talking about documentation. In Ed Staff, you have your events. So we want to make sure, and in here you have your parent-teachers conferences, your home visits, any of your events and things like that. You need to be putting them under the Education tab. ASQs, your place for your big grants. We have a place for Dojo. Now, we only want to do this once a week because otherwise you are going to have it completely filled up with Dojo every day. So I've already posted my Dojo for this week. What did we do? We did math sorting. Now, I'm not an education person, so you guys are probably going to be better at this than me. I hope. Val, we're going to use you again. Parents notified. Yep. We sent a reminder to all parents. Who did that? Valerie did that too. And we sent it out. First, send it out today. Event notes. You can go in here, and if you have ideas of what you're going to do for the week, if you need notes for anything, you've got your note box. Remember the little clock? We'll throw your name and the date in there. Just lickety split for you. And go down and add an action. For this, okay, we did a communication. And we did it today. And give us a description of what you did. We did color sorting of the bears. So we're real in the beginning. Yeah. Well, apparently we didn't do it all the way to the end of the bears. So we sorted bears by color and by size. Ta-da! Do math concepts as your description, because maybe you're just doing math on Mondays type thing, and save it. And that's where we're at. Let's add another one. We did another lesson. We did it on Wednesday. What are we going to do? Our literacy on Wednesday. And the status is completed. We have to take the treatment thing out. Our action notes. What do we do? We read Three Little Pigs and showed different types of houses to go with the little pigs. What do? We saved. It cannot be a future date. There we go. We learned something. Okay. We're going to say we did that last Wednesday then, which would mean I'd have to put this under last Wednesday's date. Ta-da! And there you go. So there's your Dojo. Well, here, when I find him. And there's the math concepts, there's a literacy concept. And as I said, this one should be listed under last week, shouldn't it? Health. Health has a notes tab too. And our specific events going in here, but there's a health contacts. If we want to know how many times a family's been reminded that they need to have a dental done, we don't want to have to look all over the place for it. We just want to be able to come in here and say, oh, Jen contacted him on this day and Maggie contacted him on this day. So we know at least twice. So if you are doing a contact with a family about a specific thing, like a dental, you want to put that contact under the tab it relates to. Now, you may be a teacher, but if you're making the phone call for the dental, we need to put it under the health tab. If you're an FDS calling about a physical, we want that under the health tab, under these health contacts, so that we know all this stuff is together and it's really easy to just come in here and know how often the family's been contacted, who was talking to them about what, or any notes that we may need to be looking for. And of course, you have your health events, and any of the things you'll notice here, the Joey's behavior and incident reports that we put in on the education side also show up here in the health side. So those two are very much related. If you put an incident report in health, it's going to show up under the kids' education tab too. Family services, of course, you guys still have your events and all the different options that you guys have in there. You do. Let's check this out. See, you guys have one that I will go ahead and take out because it is not the right one that we want to be using. But you guys do have events. It's just the way it will let us tack on to do like behavior and incident reports. It doesn't, it likes to put things in health and education. The program itself really likes to keep family services separated out. So that's what we have for today. So we touched on those behavior and incident reports. Save them in there. You can print them out to share with families. You can do that capture signature on your incident reports. If the timing works out, you know, some families we're not going to be able to do that with. And we touched on those health contacts, making sure those are all in one place. And that's just a change from where we're used to putting it in. Similar information, add a health contact. Really doesn't take much. I mean, did you face-to-face phone call? Why you got a hold of them? Who's doing it? And what happened? Like I said, remember that little clock? That's your current date and who it is, and then you can just go ahead and add your notes. I know this was kind of a quick and just straight to the point. If you have any questions, please let us know. Go in, look at your kids, look at how that might work for them. It's a transition between that Thanksgiving and winter break. And after the first of the year, we're gonna put these all into the virtual side of things. We're gonna have some more of that coming, but right now this is where we're starting. So I hope you learned some things, and if there's any questions, let us know. Thanks.